One day, there were 100 to 150 cars in my driveway, on my lawn, and lining both sides of the road. This is when the police had to step in and start clearing everybody out. Over the past year, there's been plenty of Bigfoot news. However, a lot of it has been located in one little part of the United States called Ohio, also known as the Buckeye State. That has been quite a surprising thing, not just for us locals that are near to the state, but also people in the Bigfoot community across the entire United States. And that has brought up an interesting question from a couple of people. Ohio is a Bigfoot hotspot? And we just wanted to clear the air. We wanted to go ahead and bring everything to the table in one video. My name's Jaster. I'm the founder of the Southeast Bigfoot Research Organization. And coming along with me tonight is Myth, and we are going to be going over one of the biggest Bigfoot hotspots in the entire United States. Now, before we do that, we need to go ahead and get everything out of the way. You know, if anything you see in this video you like, or if you want to come in and do some more stuff with us, just give us a like, comment, and subscribe, and let's have a big old conversation down below. Now, in order to get into Ohio as a Bigfoot hotspot, you have to get back to where it all started. Now, with Ohio, you can actually go back even before the word Bigfoot was actually a word. And if you were to look into any search engine and you enter in the Ohio Grassman, you're going to come up with tales going back to the 1800s, back whenever it was the Ohio Territory. Now, this Ohio Grassman sounds a whole lot like Bigfoot. Now, there are some general descriptions on it that you can find on bigfootencounters.com. This is a really good database that likes to go ahead and write down everything that had happened up until, I would say, the mid-2000s as far as Bigfoot. It's a really good resource for going farther back in history, because they did a whole lot of recording of already established Bigfoot reports. The BFRO kind of takes reports as they come. This one kind of investigates older ones as they find them. And the Ohio Grassman actually has a pretty decent database here. Now, it's known to kill dogs, cries like a baby, screams like a woman. It's often seen in cornfields, noted for breaking limbs, looks like a gorilla, but appears to stand straighter, has a strong odor. There's also reports of it being shaggy-haired, with long, smooth brown hair, gray hair, coal black hair. It's also known for throwing large rocks, and there have been wood knocks and possible handprints being found. That sounds a whole lot like a Bigfoot to me. And this is something that's been happening for almost 200 years in this area. So, whenever it comes down to it, Ohio has been an area where Bigfoot has been for a long time. Now, the Ohio Grassman is more generalized to the area of the Salt Fork State Park. However, the Grassman is kind of just something that you find all over the state, not just in one particular area.
The Ohio Grassman has been spotted in multiple various locations, such as Salt Fork State Park, Portage and Trumbull counties, southern and eastern forests. There was a sighting that is dated back on the History Channel, actually, in Columbus, Ohio, where a man recollects his encounter with the Ohio Grassman, and he states that it was about 10 feet tall, black fur. It stood more parallel to how he was standing. So like straight up, staring at him from a distance. His dog goes chasing after it. He hears the dog yelp. He runs away like any man with any kind of common sense. And then a day later, he comes back looking for his dog, and poof, dog's snapped in half, torn open, hung from a tree. I personally believe that is a very good indicator for something that is of that stature, being able to do that and hanging it from a tree. That sounds like Bigfoot to me. Now, you guys can go ahead and surmise what you believe happened, but I personally would like to go ahead in the direction of Bigfoot here.
One of the biggest reasons why people have been talking about Bigfoot in Ohio is because of the Monwa Bigfoot sighting spree that happened earlier this year. Now, we're going to cover it here a little bit later in the video, but before that, what if I told you that that was not the first sighting spree in Ohio regarding Bigfoot? There has been a series of sightings dating back to 1978 that is widely referred to in the area as the Minerva Monster. Now, this happened in August of 1978 to the Caton family, which was 2 miles west of Minerva on a place called Lincoln Street. Now, when these people had their encounter, it wasn't just one or two people in the house. This was everybody in the house that had been inside. They were just trying to have a good afternoon, have some dinner, and that's when something approached the house. Everybody had a similar experience, so they decided to call the police. Now, the police took this very seriously because at no point did the family actually use the word Bigfoot, even though they got eyes on this thing. So the police went in, they did their investigations, and before long, the news actually got a hold of the story and started running it. And because there wasn't much going on in that part of Ohio in 1978, they really covered it, which led to people that had nothing to do going out to the farm and trying to find Bigfoot. At one point, one of the Catons actually said, "One day there were 100 to 150 cars in my driveway, on my lawn, and lining both sides of the road." This is when the police had to step in and start clearing everybody out. Now, when the sheriff was asked about this, the sheriff said that he believes that the family had seen something, that something had definitely happened that night. Now, whether or not that was Bigfoot, he did not say outright whether or not he believed it was a Bigfoot or just a vagrant. However, he didn't think these people were lying about having an experience, and these people didn't outright go and report it as a Bigfoot immediately. So the Minerva Monster kind of stays in the zeitgeist of cryptozoology for Ohio as one of those sighting sprees that started as just a little thing that happened in a small town and started to blow up in the local area. Because after their sighting, people started coming out and having their own sightings and reporting their own sightings. So whether or not that was people trying to stay in the limelight or whether or not that was an official report, we won't know. And that's something to keep in mind whenever we look at the Monwa Bigfoot encounters.
So instead of reviewing the Minerva monster exploration, I would like to bring up 10 sightings that happened in the year of 2017, which is a little bit more recent and gives a little bit more credibility because multiple people saw different sightings all through Ohio, north, east, south, and west of Ohio, like in Ohio. So it's just giving it a little bit more oomph to it, if you will. I already stated this earlier, but number one, Salt Fork State Park, a Bigfoot hotspot explodes with activity. I'm not going to read the entire excerpt. You are going to be able to read it yourself. We're going to add a link to the in the description so you can go and click on what I'm talking about and refer to it yourself. So I'm just going to read a little bit. Salt Fork State Park in Gearsney County has long been regarded as Ohio's most active location for Sasquatch sightings. In 2017, multiple reports emerged from the park with campers and hikers encountering howls at night to shadowy figures darting between trees. One group of campers near the Bigfoot Ridge Trail reported rocks being thrown toward their campsite, an action that cryptid researchers often attribute to Bigfoot territorial behavior. Number two, trail camera catches mysterious creature in Hawking Hills. This one is personally my favorite. In August 2017, a hunter's trail camera set deep in the Hawking Hills captured intriguing footage of an upright, large figure moving silently through the woods at night. The figure, too tall and lean to be a bear, triggered debate in the cryptozoology community. Some experts argued that Bigfoot or the Ohio grassman could only explain the footage. The blurry image reignited interest in the area, drawing curious Bigfoot hunters to the Hawking Hills region. Number 3, bone chilling howls near Belafonte. In early spring, residents of Belafonte, Ohio, reported hearing loud, unnatural howls emanating from the woods. Cryptid investigators recorded and analyzed the sounds, which were consistent with previously documented Sasquatch vocalizations from other parts of the country. I'm going to let you finish that excerpt yourself. We're going to move on to number 4. Giant footprints found along Cedar Creek Lake. In the summer of 2017, brought one of the most exciting discoveries in the hunt for Ohio grassman. Massive footprints along the shore of Cedar Creek Lake. Fishermen stumbled upon the prints, which measured over 16 inches long and showed signs of deep pressure, indicating that whatever was left of them was incredibly heavy. Vast strides between each footprint added to the mystery, ruling out the possibility that a human or known animal made them. Number 5, we've already touched on this. Ohio grassman sighting on a back road in Coxton County. One of the most dramatic encounters in 2017 occurred on a quiet road in Coxton County. A motorist traveling through a remote wooded area at dusk reported seeing a tall, hairy figure cross the road. The witness described the creature as 7 to 8 feet tall, with long arms and thick, dark fur. According to the driver, the figure moved quickly and vanished into the trees before he could capture a photo or video. Number 6, strange tree knocks in Wayne County National Forest. In Wayne County National Forest, a group of campers experienced what they believe was an encounter with the Ohio grassman. Late at night, they heard loud knocking sounds echoing through the forest. Cryptid researchers often attribute these knocks to Bigfoot behavior, suggesting that Sasquatch uses this sound to communicate or establish territory. Number 7, nighttime encounter in Mohican State Park. During a night hike in Mohican State Park, hikers claimed to see a significant, shadowy figure lurk just beyond the tree line. When one hiker shined a flashlight toward the figure, it disappeared into the dense forest. The brief encounter left the group shaken, but they were sure that they had seen something that did not resemble a human nor a bear. Number 8, stick structures discovered in Zaleski State Forest. I'm just going to skip over that and you guys can read the rest of these. Number 9, the Knox County cornfield sighting. And number 10, activity at the 2017 Ohio Bigfoot Conference. I state all these things to give you a little bit of understanding that if you did have an encounter of your own, or you know someone that says they had an encounter, not to rule them out. These things do happen. They are real. It's happening to people every day. And it's not explainable to people that have a lack of knowledge like myself. But there are people out there that you can talk to. Luckily for me, I was lucky enough to meet Jaster and Kaz a long time ago. And it just so happened when I had my encounter, they were able to walk me through what the possibilities were and did not rule out the fact that it could be Bigfoot.
One of the other big things about Ohio that I like to bring up that not a lot of people know is that the research that actually founded the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization, or the BFRO, actually happened in Ohio back in the 1980s. It's one thing that was brought up during the Dixie Cryptid podcast with Matt Moneymaker, where he actually admitted that when he was out of college, one of the reasons why he went to college in Ohio was because that college was within a 45-minute drive of multiple different active Bigfoot sightings. So, whenever he went down there, he ended up getting a lot of the skills he needed in order to train other Bigfoot investigators and eventually found the BFRO. So, when it comes to things that have happened within the state, it's not just sightings. It has a rich history of developing Bigfoot believers and developing Bigfoot researchers. One of the other things I want to bring up is that the Ohio Howl is one of the most referenced audio of a supposed Bigfoot in the entire argument. And that obviously comes from Ohio. So there's quite a lot going on here, and there's a lot to discuss when it comes to the people from Ohio and the people of Ohio and what their relationship is to Bigfoot.
Locally, there have been multiple sightings recently. The Manoa the Manoa sightings. They were very exciting for people like myself who did not previously believe that any of these things could be real. Now, let me assure you, they are very real. And they were seen in Garrettsville. They were seen in Streetsboro. They were seen in Portage County. They were seen everywhere. And everyone here was saying, hey, I saw Bigfoot. I saw Bigfoot. And there was some with credibility and some without any. And let me just share with you, I ran into my equal share of amounts of people. I ran into a woman that told me she had a potential sighting. And then I asked her to allow me to confirm the evidence and the proof, and then go ahead and go back and get it reviewed. And every time I went to go confirm the proof, it was just not accessible to me. So we're not even going to, trail on about that. That's fine. But then there were other people. We called around. We tried to get interviews done and conducted, and some people were not willing to talk about it because it's a difficult topic to get somebody to sit down and have a full conversation about if they don't want to believe in Bigfoot. However, there were some people that were willing to talk to us. Now, they didn't have a lot to share, but they did say, yeah, there was a possibility that we did see something. So that was enough for us to feel a little bit more confident in the fact that these sightings were not just hearsay. They were not just, one and done. They were, oh, it's going. We have a trail. And actually, we covered this already. If you go back and you look at one of our other videos from like maybe 2 months ago, 3 months ago, and we even labeled it the Manoa Encounters, you can go back and watch the literal map that we drew up, the trail that it went, from what direction to where we believe it would have left out of the area because of an unnatural occurrence that was happening with the weather. Now, I want to state this. Anytime there is something serious going on with nature, animals and creatures in the wilderness always know how to adapt or to move in a direction that would be safest for them based off of the occurrence that is happening at the time. Deers do it, birds do it, literally a slew of animals do it all the time, okay? So for someone to say, wow, an unnatural occurrence was happening outside, heavy rainfall, that they saw Bigfoot here in Ohio, I have to believe that it is possible. And I, at this time, am very proud to say that I do believe that it is possible.
Now, whether or not you look at all of the evidence and you come out on one side of the fence or the other, it's hard to deny that when it comes to just the sheer amount of reports, footprints, and other evidence for Bigfoot, Ohio is a definite source of information. Now, like we said before, there are a plethora of different topics that we're going to go into in further videos, and we're going to be developing more technology in order to help us get to the bottom of all these crazy amount of statistics that we're coming up with. One of the next episodes on the show, we're going to have Eric West back on to discuss all of the analysis that we went through over the Indian database that he actually put together himself. And there is a lot of stuff there, and there's some really interesting things that help back up Bigfoot's role in the North American ecosystem. So, if you want to go ahead and get ready for that one, if that's something that you want to listen to, you can go ahead and give us a subscribe, and you will get the notification, and we'll have that ready to go for you. But that's everything for us tonight. My name is Jaster with the Southeast Bigfoot Research Organization, and we hope you all have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.